The Russian Air Force reportedly used 4 of its new Sukhoi Su-57 fifth-generation fighter jets to carry out strikes against Ukrainian air defense systems. And now is Su-75, Russia's insane new fighter jet that can destroy anything. In today's video, we'll show you how dangerous this weapon is. But before we begin, subscribe to my channel and smash the bell icon to get tuned. Let's begin. The Russian fighter of the future, Su-75, is another of Putin's great fiascos. The Su-75 Checkmate was supposed to be Russia's fighter of the future, with capabilities that would surpass the American F-35, but it is on its way to being a bigger disaster than the Su-57 Felon. Vladimir Putin has not only failed with his Su-57 Felon, the fifth-generation combat fighter that has been a botch strangled by sanctions, but he is also taking the same or worse path with the new Su-75 Checkmate, his fighter of combat of the future, another prodigious weapon of the Russian Tsar that could not even materialize. Unveiled at the Dubai Airshow late last year, this fantastic aircraft was supposed to be the rival that would end the dominance of the American F-35 Lightning II fifth-generation fighter in both the air and the arms market. Now, and especially after the illegal invasion of Ukraine, everything indicates that this will not be the case. Now here near, the plane of the future. According to the Russians, the Su-75 Checkmate is cheaper and more technologically advanced than the F-35. The list of technical characteristics of this single-engine jet is unbeatable on paper. It has speed with a range of 2,800 kilometers and a combat radius of 1,400 kilometers, carrying 7 tons of weapons on board, in a plane that supposedly only weighs 18 tons compared to 30 for the F-35. The Russians boast their active arrayed radar system capable of tracking 30 targets in real time continuously, a state-of-the-art electronic warfare system, and integration with other battle systems, supposedly in the style of the F-35. According to Sergei Chemzov, CEO of Rostec, the company Sukhoi is part of, the Su-75 will carry a group of integrated drones that can engage 6 enemies simultaneously. In addition, a future version will be unmanned and can be coordinated with a manned one thanks to, of course, artificial intelligence. They also affirm that there will be a 2-seat version, one for short takeoff and landing, STOL, and another capable of operating from aircraft carriers. And all this for a laughing price of between $25 and $30 million per unit. A real bargain compared to the more than $80 million that an F-35 currently costs and that Lockheed Martin has only been able to get, thanks to economies of scale. Although not a single Su-75 has been built, just 2 non-functional full-scale mock-ups, Russia says it will have a flyable prototype by 2023, and industrial production will begin in 2026 or 2027 at the latest. Is it possible? If something seems too good to be true, likely it is not. Especially in the case of Russia. Vladimir Putin and his arms industry have failed time and time again with these fantastic weapons that they boast of, and conventional ones too. According to military experts, his cruise missiles have failed in Ukraine at a rate of up to 70%. The Ukrainians have also been able to destroy or disable state-of-the-art tanks with Javelin missiles. Their fabulous T-4 Armata armored vehicles have not seen their hair because they only have prototypes. Its Uran-9 intelligent combat robots, which Russia attempted to test in Syria in 2018, are neither intelligent nor functional. Some of their drones are mounted with electrical tape, and the Su-57 Felon, as we saw a few days ago, is also a shoddy product of supreme corruption, failed technology, shoddy manufacturing, and lack of components that define the Russian arms industry. This has been demonstrated in the war in Ukraine despite the advances of the Russian army, shamefully achieved with cannon fodder and artillery as if they were in 1945, this time in the role of the Nazis. Many things can be said about the Su-75, and all of them are bad, from the fact that the Russians have no coordinated tactical system with all the American and Allied forces to the fact that they have neither engines nor electronics to produce a prototype, much less magical artificial intelligence, that it has no one on the planet or drones straight out of a Robotech episode. As the military blog 1945 points out, even Chemezov admits that they have borrowed the equipment and onboard engine from the 5th generation Su-57, but we reconfigured them. An engine that we know is outdated in the Felon because they were unable to produce its new generation due to various failures, and again, the lack of parts as a result of the sanctions. The same lack of parts makes it impossible to produce the Su-75 in series. Just a piece of information, after the Su-57 project began in the early 2000s and the first flight in 2010, Russia currently only has 10 Felon units. They are supposed to receive 22 units in 2024 and 76 in 2028, something experts call an extremely optimistic prediction based on the current pace of the project. Meanwhile, military experts estimate that China may already have as many as 150 J-20 jets operational despite their production problems. The Americans have active 187 F-22s and 450 F-35s, with a target of 2,500 by 2040. As we have seen, there are exactly 0 operational units of the Su-75. Even more so because, if they could make a prototype that flies, the Russians themselves admit that they need the support of a foreign investor to pay for this party. It is rumored that the United Arab Emirates might be interested in paying for development and production, so as not to depend on the American F-35 or the French Rafale. But for now, these are all rumors. After the Ukraine war and the embarrassing display of failed Russian military might, this seems utterly impossible. According to RIA Novosti, a source close to the operation reported that 4 Su-57 fighter jets working in a network were used to identify and destroy Ukrainian air defense systems. The Russian aerospace forces carried out an operation to identify and destroy Ukrainian air defense systems using a flight of 4 new Su-57 multirole fighters. The planes were combined into an information network through automatic communication systems, data transmission, navigation, and real-time identification. Based on research, combining aircraft into a single information space increases the efficiency of identifying and hitting targets. It was also specified that the low radar visibility of the Su-57 was confirmed. It is not the first time that Russian journalistic sources have claimed that Su-57s are involved in combat operations over Ukraine, but it is the first time that the type of mission has been specified. Due to its low radar signature and contemporary sensors, an aircraft with the Su-57's characteristics should be useful in destroying anti-aircraft defense suppression (SEAD) missions, but 4 aircraft are insufficient to ensure that attacks against the Ukrainian medium and high-altitude air defense capability will not be launched. However, it does benefit the Russian aerospace forces to develop experience and theory in actual new model operating settings. And for the sector, it has the added benefit of being able to label its best product as having undergone testing in battle with an eye on future exports. For the Sukhoi Su-57s to produce significant and quantifiable results over Ukraine, Russia will have to greatly increase the number of operational units on the front. Having said this, in the end, this fantastic futuristic plane that was going to checkmate the F-35 will end up losing parcheesi with other paper planes, because that's exactly what the Su-76 is, a plane that only exists on paper, and the wet dreams of Peter the Great 2.0. I hope you liked this video. If you did, kindly click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to smash the bell icon to get notified. See you in the next video. Thanks.